So in this third part of Module 2, we're going to discuss different perennial crops and specialty crops and how they can fit in your long-term planning for your production cycles on your small sustainable farm. So let's get right to it. So these are a few considerations, as there are many out there for different perennial crops that you can use for production on your small farm. The first of which that I really like is asparagus. And all of these need a kind of permanent home in your space. So wherever you place them, they will hopefully live and survive for many years to come. So asparagus can create kind of a hedgerow. It's got a very small window of harvest in the spring, but can fetch a premium price at markets. Definitely kind of on the local and direct to consumer as well as restaurants. So I really enjoy this crop. Plus, it makes a beautiful plant throughout the rest of the season when you're not harvesting. One consideration with asparagus is weed management, as that can choke out any significant production in the early spring. So maintain that space to prevent weed growth, overgrowth. Artichokes are another excellent perennial plant in colder climates where you get significant freezes. It may be necessary to dig the roots up and replant those in the spring, but in the milder climates, specifically in Texas, you can plant artichoke and leave it in its space and it will produce from year to year. Rhubarb is another one that's interesting, that fetches a premium price in markets and is fairly unique. It does require a little bit cooler of a climate, so maybe for more northern parts of the state, or if you have some protected spaces within your garden or on your farm, rhubarb would be one to give a try. And elderberry. Elderberry tolerates a wide variety of soil types and conditions, and has both for medicinal and culinary purposes can find a nice niche in the marketplace. Perennial berries make a great addition to any small-scale, sustainable, and regenerative farm due to their ecological benefits and economic potential. Their long-term productivity, their soil-enhancing characteristics, and market demand make them valuable additions to diversified farm operations. Some considerations are definitely soil and climate requirements. It is critical to assess both your soil and your climate before choosing the right berry and specifically the right variety. These crops generally require well-draining, slightly acidic soil. Blueberries on the more acidic side of the equation. They, of course, love high organic matter, good aeration to support root development and nutrient uptake. Moderate rainfall and temperate climates are ideal. Of course, different berries are adapted to different regions, so definitely some considerations there as you plan. I am partial to blackberries, being blackberries thrive in a wide variety of environments, from moist and cool to hot and dry, given the right inputs and support. One of the most significant advantages of perennial berries is their contribution to ecological sustainability. As a perennial, they do not require frequent tilling or replanting, which helps in preserving soil structure, prevents erosion, and also maintaining microbial health. Their extensive root systems improve soil stability and water retention. Perennial berries also provide critical habitat and food sources for pollinators like bees and butterflies. In addition, by reducing the need for annual replanting, the overall input requirements and labor costs over time align with sustainable practices focused on long-term productivity and environmental stewardship. Some of the challenges are disease pressure can be significant with both gray molds that can be significant in blackberries, and root rot as well, especially in poorly drained soils. Pests such as the spotted winged Drosophila, which is a fruit fly, can threaten yields, so it's critical to have an integrated pest management strategy that minimizes chemical or even organic pesticides. Also, labor is a consideration. Proper pruning is critical, which requires a certain skill set, and as well as labor that can help with trellising and harvesting. Fruit and nut trees are also an excellent perennial addition to any small-scale sustainable farming operation. These can include, not limited to, of course, but peach, plum, almonds, persimmons, figs, and pomegranates. They play a vital role in farming operations because of their long-term productivity, just as berries provide. They provide capacity for diversifying farm income, but their success depends on aligning those soil and climate requirements. They vary based on both the specific type of fruit and nut tree, but also varieties. Most of these trees will thrive in well-drained, loamy soil. Proper drainage, of course, is essential to prevent root rot diseases. And seasonal chill requirements are definitely another consideration, where specific varieties require a certain amount of hours below the temperature of 45 degrees before they'll break dormancy. So it's definitely, you want to look at, this is specific to peaches, plums, almonds, and both apple and pear as well require a certain amount of chill hours. So understanding these requirements will allow the farmer to select the correct species and varieties well suited to their region, which also will reduce input needs and environmental stress. Some of the sustainability benefits are contribution to carbon sequestration, as these are long-lived perennials. They capture atmospheric carbon and store it in their biomass in the soil, helping to mitigate climate change. Their extensive root system also improves soil structure, just with berries, enhances water infiltration, and prevents erosion. Additionally, they provide habitat as food sources for beneficial wildlife and pollinators. So they contribute to on-farm biodiversity. And from an economic perspective, fruit trees and nut trees diversify the farm income by offering high-value products with strong market demand. Fresh fruit, dried products, and value-added goods like jams and nut butters and oils can create multiple revenue streams, reducing the financial risks associated with more common monoculture systems. Some of the challenges, of course, would be pest and disease pressures. They can be complex with many different diseases and pests presenting themselves, like peach leaf curl, plum curculio, almond navel orangeworms, requiring consistent monitoring and intervention. Companion planting can help with this. Habitat creation for predatory insects can help also minimize any kind of pesticide inputs. Another challenge is the time that it requires for trees to develop and reach maturity. So typically this can be anywhere from a minimum of 2 to 3 years upwards to 5 or more years for any of these trees to start producing at scale. Agroforestry and perennial systems offer a holistic approach to small-scale sustainable farming. They integrate trees, berries, as well as perennial grains into diversified, resilient landscapes. These systems thrive on thoughtful integration of many perennial crops, such as fruit trees and nut trees, berry bushes, and perennial grains. They all work in harmony with each other and the surrounding environment. This diversity creates a multi-layered production where each plant's unique role supports overall farm resilience. For instance, fruit and nut trees like peaches, almonds, and figs provide high-value crops while sequestering carbon and stabilizing the soil. Perennial berries like blackberries and blueberries offer consistent yields and attract pollinators. Deep-rooted heritage grains improve soil structure and water retention while producing nutrient-dense food. Together, these components enhance biodiversity, reduce input needs, and build long-term soil fertility. And a well-designed perennial system balances these elements, optimizing space and productivity while minimizing environmental impact. Windbreaks, alley cropping, and silvopasture integration are innovative planting techniques that maximize productivity and ecosystem health. Windbreaks, composed of long rows of trees and shrubs, protect crops and livestock, prevent erosion and temperature extremes and wind damage, while creating habitat for beneficial wildlife. These protective barriers improve microclimates and allow for more sensitive crops to thrive and reduce irrigation demands. Alley cropping combines tree rows with annual or perennial crops planted in between, creating symbiotic relationships that improve soil health and yield. For example, planting heritage grains or medicinal herbs between rows of fruit and nut trees, or planting other annuals in between fruit and nut trees, increases land efficiency while reducing weed pressure and enhancing soil fertility through organic matter accumulation. Over time, these systems foster nutrient cycling and natural pest control, minimizing synthetic input needs. Silvopasture integrates trees and forage and livestock into a single system, promoting animal welfare and ecosystem resilience. In this model, tree cover provides shade and wind protection for grazing animals, reduces heat stress, and enhances productivity. In turn, the livestock contribute to soil health through natural fertilization and grazing, which manages understory growth. This closed-loop system builds soil organic matter, reduces erosion, and creates diversified income streams from both crop and animal production. The success of specialty crops in small-scale, sustainable, and regenerative farming depends on a careful balance of economic viability, environmental compatibility, and thoughtful cultivation practices. By understanding and integrating key factors such as market demand, soil and climate adaptation, sustainable practices, and different value-added opportunities, farmers can maximize profitability while enhancing ecological health. Initially, market demand is perhaps the most immediate and influential factor in the success of these specialty crops. Crops that cater to niche markets like heritage grains, medicinal herbs, and heirloom vegetables often command premium prices due to their uniqueness, their quality, and also their perceived health benefits. Consumers increasingly seek locally produced, organic, and nutrient-dense foods, creating opportunities for small-scale farmers to differentiate themselves through storytelling, transparency, and quality. Farmers can identify these niche opportunities by conducting local market research, collaborating with chefs, or joining community-supported agriculture, CSA programs, which provide direct access to consumers invested in sustainable agriculture. Adaptation to local soil and climate conditions is critical. The long-term viability of specialty crops hinges on their ability to thrive in local environmental conditions. So you want to make sure that you select crops suited to the region's soil type, the temperature ranges, and the precipitation patterns. All of this reduces your input costs and the environmental impact of growing those specialty crops. As your sustainability, your cultivation practices are central to this long-term success of specialty crops. These would include no-till farming, crop rotation, integrated pest management. All these conserve resources, enhance biodiversity, improve soil structure, and as we've discussed at length, prioritizing soil health and minimizing inputs, farmers can reduce costs while building more resilient ecosystems. And then considering value-added opportunities can significantly increase the profitability of specialty crops by extending shelf life, diversifying income streams, and enhancing product appeal. Examples of value-added products include transforming heritage grains into artisanal flour, preserving heirloom vegetables, or creating medicinal herb tinctures and teas. These products not only cater to niche markets, but also capture greater economic value from each harvest. Effective branding, storytelling, and certification potentially, such as organic certification or regenerative labels, can further enhance perceived value and customer loyalty. The success of these specialty and alternative crops depend on their ability to balance economic profitability with environmental stewardship. This balance definitely ensures long-term viability by creating resilient productive systems that benefit both the farm and the surrounding ecosystem. Key elements of this balance include direct marketing opportunities, ecosystem services, and the specific challenges associated with labor, investment, and market stability. Specialty crops often achieve economic success through direct marketing channels like what we've discussed with CSAs, farmers markets, and on-farm sales, all offering opportunities for premium pricing, especially for unique, organic, or locally grown products. Agritourism, including farm tours, workshops, pick-your-own events, also provide additional revenue streams while fostering community engagement and education. These approaches not only enhance farm profitability, but also build strong customer relationships, increasing loyalty and demand. However, direct marketing requires effective communication, branding, and customer service, which can definitely demand significant time and effort. Beyond these economic considerations, specialty crops contribute valuable ecosystem services. Diverse cropping systems improve biodiversity by creating habitats for beneficial insects, birds, and soil organisms. We've discussed these previously. Perennial crops like fruit and nut trees support pollinators and wildlife. Sustainable practices like cover cropping, crop rotation, and reduced tillage improve soil health by enhancing organic matter, nutrient cycling, and water retention. Some of the challenges, despite all of the benefits, specialty crops do present several challenges that farmers must navigate to ensure economic and environmental viability. As we discussed, labor is a big consideration. Labor requirements for crops like microgreens or heirloom vegetables can be intensive. This can involve frequent planting, harvesting, and processing. Initial investment costs for infrastructure, such as greenhouses, irrigation systems, and processing equipment, can be prohibitive, especially for niche products like mushrooms or heritage grains. Additionally, market fluctuations and evolving consumer preferences can affect demand and pricing, making consistent profitability difficult. Diversification of these crops and revenue streams, along with strategic financial planning, can definitely help mitigate some of these risks. Now we'll discuss a few of the different specialty crops, just a few, not an all-inclusive list, but definitely some that warrant some extra consideration. Initially as heritage grains, these are traditional non-hybridized varieties of wheat, barley, rye, and other cereal grains. They're gaining renewed interest due to their nutritional quality, environmental resilience, and cultural significance. As small-scale farms seek to diversify production and build soil health, heritage grains can offer economic opportunities and ecological benefits. Some of the economic potential of heritage grains lies in their growing popularity. Unlike modern hybridized grains bred for high yields and uniformity, heritage grains are celebrated for their superior flavor, digestibility, and rich nutrient profiles. This differentiation allows small-scale farmers to command premium prices through direct-to-consumer sales, farmers markets, and partnerships with local artisanal bakeries, breweries, and other specialty food producers. Additionally, heritage grains align with the increasing consumer interest in regenerative and organic agricultural practices, further enhancing their market appeal. One of the most significant contributions of heritage grains ecologically is their positive impact on soil health. Many grain varieties develop deep, extensive root systems which improve soil structure, enhance water infiltration, and prevent erosion. These roots also increase organic matter and foster microbial diversity. Additionally, heritage grains often exhibit greater resistance to pests, diseases, and environmental stressors compared to more modern varieties, reducing the need for chemical inputs. And then when these are integrated into crop rotations, cover cropping systems, they contribute to long-term soil fertility. Some of the challenges, despite the benefits, They present different logistical challenges that can limit widespread adoption. Post-harvest processing requires specialized equipment potentially for cleaning, hulling, and milling, which most facilities may not be readily accessible to small-scale farmers. This absence of local infrastructure forces growers to transport their harvest long distances through shipping or some other methods of transportation. This increases the cost and reduces profitability. Additionally, heritage grains typically yield lower volumes than modern hybrids, making scaling production for consistent market supply difficult. So balancing the economic premium of heritage grains with the need for sufficient output requires careful planning. Medicinal herbs are increasingly an attractive option for small-scale sustainable farmers due to their economic potential, as well as their alignment with health-conscious consumer trends. Herbs like echinacea, valerian, chamomile, ashwagandha not only cater to this expanding wellness industry, but also support ecological diversity and soil health. The rising demand of these plant-based remedies has driven rapid growth in the supplement and wellness industry. Consumers are increasingly turning to medicinal plants for immune support, stress relief, and holistic health, creating strong opportunities for small-scale producers. These opportunities can happen through farmers markets, through CSA programs, as well as online platforms. Can also open up opportunities for partnerships with herbalists, apothecaries, and other wellness brands. Value-added products also offer opportunities. These can be tinctures, teas, salves, which enhance profitability by increasing the perceived value of the raw herbs and extending their shelf life. Medicinal herbs also contribute significantly to promoting biodiversity and promoting healthy soil ecosystems. Many medicinal plants, particularly perennial species, attract pollinators, beneficial insects, creating a balanced and resilient farm environment. Deep-rooted herbs like valerian and comfrey improve soil structure, increase organic matter, and prevent erosion. And nitrogen-fixing species like clovers enrich soil fertility. Additionally, the diverse planting of these medicinal herbs can support integrated pest management by attracting both natural predators and deterring harmful pests. Some of the challenges might be required certifications, which can be onerous and expensive. Additionally, markets can be highly specialized, requiring strong branding and education and relationship building skills. And farmers should also be mindful of plant identification and potency and safe usage to ensure that their products meet consumer expectations and legal standards. Heirloom vegetables can be a cornerstone of any sustainable and regenerative farming system due to their historical significance, their genetic diversity, and their unique market appeal. These are open pollinated varieties passed down through generations. They offer economic opportunities as well as ecological benefits. They're highly valued typically in direct-to-consumer markets. They exhibit superior flavor, they have distinct appearances, and they have a strong connection to food heritage. So there's a story there. These qualities all make them particularly appealing for CSA programs, for farmers markets, farm-to-table restaurants, um, where typically customers are seeking that more unique, locally grown produce. These typically some of these varieties are like brandywine tomatoes, dragon's tongue beans, purple Cherokee carrots. They often fetch premium prices due to their rarity and quality. Um, Additionally, these vegetables align with increasing demand for organic and sustainably produced foods, giving farms a competitive edge. Value-added opportunities include tomato sauces, pickled vegetables, and seed sales, which further diversify revenue streams and increase profitability. However, maintaining consistent supply and quality can be challenging, but is critical to sustaining strong customer relationships and market presence. Um, Unlike many hybrid varieties, which are bred for uniformity and high yields, heirlooms possess a wide range of genetic traits that contribute to pest resistance, disease tolerance, and adaptability to diverse environmental conditions. This genetic diversity enhances overall farm resilience and reduces the need for synthetic pesticides and chemical fertilizers. By cultivating a variety of heirloom crops, farmers can create a more balanced ecosystem that supports pollinators, beneficial insects, and soil health. And also, in addition to that, the preservation of heirloom seeds contributes to a broader global efforts to maintain agricultural biodiversity, ensuring future food security amid changing climate conditions. There are challenges, so definitely some considerations that which definitely some considerations are that heirloom varieties produce lower yields compared to modern hybrids. So they're not necessarily as efficient for large-scale operations. Their variable growth patterns and longer maturation periods can complicate planting schedules and harvest planning as well. Additionally, heirlooms require more intensive labor for tasks like staking, pruning, pest management, and as their open pollinated nature makes them more susceptible to environmental stressors. Microgreens are another specialty crop that have gained significant popularity recently um, due to their high economic value, as well as their efficient use of space and resources and potential for year-round production. Microgreens are young, nutrient-dense greens harvested just after their true leaves develop and are easy to cultivate and offer a quick return on investment. One of the primary advantages of microgreens is their exceptional economic potential, as we discussed. Their short growth cycle, which is often only a week to 2 to 3 weeks. Microgreens, they provide a rapid turnover compared to traditional crops. This allows farmers to achieve multiple harvests within a small footprint, maximizing revenue per square foot. High market demand from restaurants, health-conscious consumers, and specialty grocers translates into premium pricing for microgreens like sunflower shoots, pea tendrils, and radish greens. Additionally, their ease of production in controlled environments like greenhouses or indoor growing spaces minimizes weather-related risks and enables year-round sales. Value-added products such as microgreen mixes or prepackaged salad kits offer further opportunities for profitability and market appeal. Because they require minimal space, microgreens are ideal for urban and small-scale farms, maximizing production without expanding the farm's footprint. Their shallow root systems thrive in small containers with minimal soil. Short growing cycles reduces water usage and compared to full-term crops. Many microgreens can be grown using organic soil mixes or hydroponic systems, limiting the need for synthetic inputs. Furthermore, their potential for indoor and off-season production reduces pressure on outdoor fields, allowing farmers to rest and regenerate soil through cover cropping or reduced tillage practices. There are challenges, of course. Consistent demand is essential to maintaining profitability. Microgreens are often considered a luxury item for restaurants and high-end markets. So economic downturns or shifts in consumer trends can definitely impact sales. Additionally, microgreens are delicate by nature, which results in a shorter shelf life, typically 5 to 10 days, requiring efficient post-harvest handling, refrigeration, and quick distribution. Maintaining consistent quality, including vibrant color, crisp texture, and freshness, is crucial to retaining customers. Mushrooms represent a very unique and valuable crop for small-scale producers due to their economic potential and environmental benefits, as well as their adaptability to diversified farm systems. As decomposers, mushrooms play an essential role in nutrient cycling and soil health, while their growing popularity in gourmet and medicinal markets creates a strong opportunity for profitability. Culinary varieties like oyster, shiitake, and lion's mane are prized for their unique flavors and textures, often commanding premium prices in direct-to-consumer markets, high-end restaurants, and farmers markets. Additionally, medicinal mushrooms like reishi, turkey tail, cordyceps are increasingly valued for their immune-boosting and adaptogenic properties, creating opportunities for value-added products like tinctures, powders, and teas. The relatively short production cycle of many of these species, coupled with their ability to grow vertically in controlled spaces, maximizes output per square foot and enhances profitability. However, market success depends on building strong relationships with local buyers and educating consumers on the benefits and versatility of mushrooms. Mushrooms contribute significantly, and I repeat that, significantly, to regenerative farming by breaking down organic matter and enhancing soil health. As decomposers, they recycle nutrients and from agricultural byproducts like straw, wood, chips, coffee grounds, turning waste materials into valuable compost and soil amendments. This process improves soil structure, increases organic matter, and supports microbial diversity, creating a more balanced and resilient ecosystem. Additionally, mushroom cultivation requires minimal water and space compared to conventional crops, reducing the farm's overall environmental footprint. Despite these benefits, there definitely are some challenges. Mushrooms require very specific environmental conditions like consistent temperature, humidity, and airflow. Maintaining these parameters can be labor intensive as well as costly to implement. They require specialized infrastructure such as indoor grow rooms or shaded outdoor spaces. Additionally, mushrooms are highly susceptible to contamination from competing fungi, bacteria, and pests, which can compromise yield and quality. Successful production demands strict sanitation practices, careful substrate preparation, and diligent monitoring throughout the growth cycle. For farmers new to mushroom cultivation, the learning curve can be pretty steep and might require a few failures before experiencing success.